right. Well, you guys, welcome back. If you are new here, we are the Habit team. The Habit is a nutrition coaching company made for women by women. Our program is built for you with coaches who put your goals, lifestyle, and personality first. If you want to learn more about us, head to the episode notes or go to thehabit.com. That's habit with a Y to either request more information or book your free discovery call.
Hi everyone, I'm Coach Fairlane and I am back with another mini pod. So today we're talking about something that almost everyone struggles with, but not a lot of people talk about honestly, and that's adherence. Because the truth is, most people already know what to do when it comes to nutrition and fitness. The challenge doesn't come from not knowing, but from following through when life gets busy, stressful, and unpredictable. So, in this episode, we're breaking down why adherence drops even when you care, and more importantly, how to fix it in a way that actually works in real life. So, let's get into it. Let's first talk about why adherence drop, okay? Let's normalize this. Adherence doesn't drop because you're lazy. It doesn't drop because you don't want it enough. It usually drops because one of these reasons, okay? First one is decision fatigue. You wake up and you're already making decisions, right? What are the kids wearing? Who's driving who to where? What's for dinner? Work deadlines, school emails, activities. There's just a lot already going through your brain. By 6 p.m., you've made 200 decisions. Now, tracking macros feels like one more thing you're adding into that layer. So instead of intentionally eating, you default to grabbing whatever is easiest, eating off your kid's plate, skipping meals all day, and then overeating at night, or saying, I'll just track tomorrow. That's not necessarily lack of decision, that's mental fatigue. And this is, I talk about this a lot, decision fatigue. This is one of the reasons why, right? And number two, poor planning or no planning. A real life example of this, for someone that, maybe if you're a working mom, you have back-to-back meetings, didn't prep for lunch, ends up ordering something randomly, doesn't log it because it feels off plan. For someone that is stay-at-home moms like myself, your kids are homesick, you didn't do a grocery run, you've been snacking all day, no real protein anchor, okay? Adherence drops when food decisions are reactive instead of planned. Planning doesn't mean meal prepping 7 containers either, okay? It means reducing variability, okay? Repeat meals. Moi. The third one on that list is all or nothing thinking or all or nothing mindset. Okay, this one is huge. You go over your calories at lunch, and instead of adjusting for dinner, you think, well, today's just ruined. Okay, or weekends is higher than planned, so Monday just becomes another restart day. Adherence isn't lost in that high calorie meal, okay? It's lost in the spiral after it. Fourth one is stress and emotional bandwidth, okay? When stress is high, cortisol increases, cravings then increases, sleep is disrupted, decreases, and patience also decreases, and your body wants quick energy. So during those high stress weeks, adherence drops not because you don't care, but because your nervous system is overloaded. So kind of a quick summary, okay? Why does adherence drop? Poor planning, all or nothing, think poor planning, but first was decision fatigue. This is just decision fatigue, poor planning, all or nothing thinking or mindset, and stress and emotional bandwidth. Now, how do we fix this? Let's talk about solutions. What do we do? Okay. Not dramatic ones. And again, I want this to have as much kind of real life and practicality really as I talk about these solutions. Okay. The first one is probably my favorite. And I talk about this all the time. Reduce decisions. So remove decision fatigue. And how do you do that? Repeat meals, baby. Have 2 or 3 breakfast options, have 2 or 3 lunches, and 3 to 4 dinners in rotation. You don't need variety every single day. You need predictability. Okay. Predictability increases adherence. And really, this is also kind of a good way to do a purge or just like a tally of what's in your kitchen. Okay. You should have less than 100 items that is in full rotation. And that's when you start really building kind of your go-to list and your default snacks, your default meals. And with that amount of, or the variety of the food that you have there, you can create multiple different meals. Okay. And use sauces, use condiments. Those are also a really easy way to change things up. Your proteins may stay the same by changing your spices, you're changing your sauces, you're changing, instead of a wrap, it becomes a bowl. If instead of a bowl, it becomes a sandwich. Okay. Changing things up this way, but still using staples will give you the variety that you are looking for while also lessening your decision fatigue. Now, number 2 is anchor protein first. Again, always, okay? When life gets chaotic, simplify the rule, okay? Hit your protein, then build around it. Even on messy days, if protein is anchored, hunger is more stable, calories are easier to manage, and overeating is less likely to happen. Protein is your stabilizer, and this is, again, something kind of sound like a broken record every time I say it. Number 3 is aim for, again, 70%, not perfection. You don't have to aim for 100% all the freaking time. Maybe there are days where you're able to, and that's fine, that's great. But even at 100%, that's still too much, too much for me. So remember last week, what I talked about is that the most successful clients in just history of working with clients, they adhere to their macros 70% plus, 70% or higher. And what does this mean? Right? What does this look like if you take a look at, if you just break that down? That means 5 solid days, 2 maybe a little bit more flexible days with smaller swings, logging everything, even if it's imperfect. And 70% consistently beats 100% for 3 days and then 0% for 4. Okay. Look at the kind of like the ratio there. Number 4 is tracking the higher days, and not just the higher days, but tracking even when it feels challenging or hard. This is a game changer. And I think this is something that a lot of us need to overcome first before we really get into that mindset. It's like tracking is still something, no matter what. Okay. Adherence improves dramatically when you log the restaurant meal, log at the party, log the higher day. Even if it's not perfect, avoiding logging is what tanks adherence long term. And I would say this is probably more of a challenge to newer clients that may not have been tracking for a long time and just not understanding, that tracking in itself just builds awareness, and tracking when it seems more challenging or harder actually makes you be more successful at this long term because of the fact that you're doing hard things and getting over it. And number 5 is fix the environment. Okay. Willpower is not reliable. Systems are. So, example, having certain systems like pre-logging your dinner before 3 p.m. And that's kind of giving you a lot of flex here. If some people pre-log 24 hours, and that gives them lessens the decision fatigue for them. It really depends on what kind of systems you want to build on, right? Keep protein snacks visible. Put your workouts or put your walking, whatever that you're doing for your NEAT, put it in your calendar like it's a meeting, like it is a non-negotiable, right? Grocery shop with a plan. Make the right choice, the easy choice. And with that said, use ChatGPT for
your grocery list. Like, let's say you have kind of an idea of what the week is going to look like for you and your family. Put that on ChatGPT. This, say that you want this meal, this meal, this meal. You're serving it for 4 people. Can you give me a list of ingredients that I need? And it will prompt you the grocery list and makes grocery list or grocery shopping a lot easier too. I mean, use the tools that's available to you to make life a little bit easier. Now, honest reflection on this is that if adherence has been low, don't ask, why can't I stay consistent? Ask, what's making execution hard at the moment? Okay. Is it too many food decisions? Is it too much variability? Is it too much stress, right? Or too little planning? Adherence isn't about trying harder. It's about making execution easier. So here is the focus for this week. Identify what's causing your adherence to drop and fix one thing, not 5 or not every single one of them, right? Aim for 70%. You can even look at kind of what March looks like, some out of the 31 days, I believe, in March. Yeah. How many stars do you need to get to be able to get a 70% adherence? Okay. Remove the spiral. Like, you don't give yourself an opportunity to get there by actually being ahead. Okay. You don't need more motivation. You need few barriers. You need guardrails up. And when adherence becomes simpler, progress also becomes predictable. I will also kind of give you, I have this, I forget what I call it. I think like my performance foods is what I call it. But I have this list of just things in rotation in our household, and also just like foods that make a bigger impact in general. And I have a list. I have to find it, and hopefully that I can also add this in onto the email that I'll be sending you guys. So you have it and you kind of like see what that looks like. And that's what I mean by kind of purging and going into your refrigerator, your pantry, your freezer, and kind of look at from this list, or even create your own list of foods that are already in your rotation and stick with those, right? And that's when you kind of create your own list to go by, and it makes decision fatigue go away because of having those default meals in rotation. Like I swear by it. If there is anything in particular that you want to talk about just regarding about this, please let me know, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great week.